So I need to feed my bees. And I thought about it at 3:30 this afternoon. I've been feeling kind of under the weather, so I forgot. And now it's overcast and raining. So we'll see how the bees take to me feeding them. Okay, we're done. See after we feed them. So rule of thumb is if it's less than 50 degrees outside, you don't go into the beehives. Fortunately, I think we're above 50. It's actually probably about 60 degrees, but it is overcast and it's sprinkling. So I'm not going to really go into the beehives, but I will be lifting it off and adding sugar in the mountain camp way of feeding. So you can hear me. Some people work their hives with protective equipment, some people don't. I personally do, because I'm still kind of new for one thing. And another thing is, I don't want to have all my all swollen up. Check this one's feed. Probably okay. Let's see. Oh, we got ants. That's what happens when you use sugar to feed. Still have plenty. Okay, y'all got plenty up here. Y'all are good. So we're supposed to be getting kind of cool in the next few days. So far, they've actually done pretty good. It's not gotten too cool here. But cool enough that I'm trying to feed. So I bought the big 50-pound bag because I thought I needed another one, but I have a smaller bag. Open up the bag. And then this is called the mountain camp feeding method, where you just put sugar and you want to feed your bees a lot of carbohydrates in the wintertime. Getting these over here too. Let's turn this around. Take you over here. Just so I can peek in here. Let's see if that won't do it. Lots of roaches. Alright, let's see what we're doing. So, I'm just gonna stop what we're doing. Anyway. Okay, so anyway, the mountain camp method of feeding bees is where you just put a super on top of the colonies. And I also have an inner board there, and I put the inner board on top of the brood boxes, and then a super with an outer cover on top of that. And the super allows the bees room, and it gives them some insulation. So if you're mountain camp feeding, you basically either just slit open like I've got a 4-pound bag of sugar. I just slit the top of the 4-pound bag of sugar open and put it on the top of the inner cover inside the super, and then put the outer cover over. And what it does, eventually they'll eat through the paper of the bag. They chew through the paper. They really don't eat it. And then they will have the sugar. They need the high carbohydrates in the wintertime. And I opted to do that instead of sugar water, mainly because, I don't know, sugar water, my hives, for one thing, I've had to move them a couple of times to do some yard work out here, clearing and everything of the property. So since I had to move them, they've not been real level, so I didn't really want to do the liquid sugar syrup right away. And I thought the sugar on top of the inner cover is also going to provide some insulation for when it gets cold, and it'll help them stay warm. They group together in a bunch inside the boxes, and they stay warm. They maintain the hive at a 93 to 98 degree Fahrenheit during the wintertime. And they, as warm as it's been, they've been out foraging. There's not a lot blooming. They use up a lot of their energy foraging and cleansing flights. So these bees have to make it to spring. Other bees die off around every 6 weeks, and these bees are going to live for months. So they have to use their stores and their energy levels to maintain the hive temperature during the cold months. And we haven't even gotten really cold here yet. So I started kind of feeding them early because I wanted to be ahead of the game. And one of my boxes, one of my colonies, is 2 deep boxes and a super. The super's mostly their food stores for the winter, so I don't feed them. They've got plenty of resources to eat off of. And I'll check them on warm days and make sure, and if I need to supplement them, I'll supplement them too. And the other colony was fine. I just gave them a bag of sugar 2 weeks ago, and they're still working on that. And this one only had a little bit of their sugar left that I had put in there about a month ago. So I gave them the 4-pound bag. So anyway, we fed the bees.